really interesting. Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff and he's won at all the tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like, if we really think about it, like, sure, ace high has some showdown value if you had ace five. And when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, and it actually gets called in on this kind of board. Like, what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's going to have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm going to say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is going to stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm going to guarantee that's what he's going to say. Very interesting, though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot, too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there, too. A lot of times, the hands we want to flow with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold. Yep. Like, he's going to have some gut shots in his hands. He's going to have spade draw. He's going to have king X. And we kind of, identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets. And we're aware how to proceed on those cards. So, yeah, that's a very good point. You're right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just
All right, so look at this. You're not opening this. We just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cutoff, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are right.
Come on now. Okay. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
It would
I'm
be a
already down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
You're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah. Yes! I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold.
The right But you heard what he said. About the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
the
points
excuses
fold.
to open,
right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak, welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, the $11 10K, I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
Oh, that's hilarious. And everybody's nailed
it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who does that?
Who the hell? Yeah, so Matt
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I always love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
Right. All right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing D-pipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise it. What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options to 12 and 1,400 average. So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on the site with these other crushers, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here, too. Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coached on the site, so very highly respectable quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. Remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy.
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation. That's pre-flop? I think pre.
All right, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the things I see people when it comes to poker is when people get to the
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a two,
All right, cool. You're going 1,400?
I'm going 1400, guys.
I'm going to go call with the arm and just do that.
All right, and
I would fold in game, though, for the record, in case that's the winning end.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
well, no, we can't win. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol,
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR.
$10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. We'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then, we'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. You know what this means.
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool because we have 2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know,
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Censor getting $10 ACR giveaway for this one.
It's a good little intro. Oh, and and they're competing with each other, so it's like a challenge. Nice.
All right, folks, we are live. Poker Coaching Study Session stream is a go with our special guest, Evan Jarvis. We got Crazy Sixes. Everyone's on hold right now. I just wanted to say hello and kick this off. Exclamation point PC in the chat. Bang. You can get a link to pokercoaching.com where we get this content, get signed up, and get all the free stuff. We'll go through the whole spiel once we get this thing off of mute on Skype. So yeah, let's kick it off. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Cool. We're live. Say hello.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Well done. Poker Coaching Session stream live right now with our guest this week is Evan Jarvis himself. Grips Poker. He's even got a webinar today. Is that right? I see it on the...
I do. I have a webinar tonight on how to maximize your study EV, and I mapped out all the points last night, and this morning I kind of wrote out the script, and then after we're done this session, I'm going to put together the slides, and I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Studying and learning how to learn and being effective in all areas of life is what gets me excited, so excited to share another thing that I'm passionate about that, isn't directly related to poker strategy, but it definitely increases poker profits in the long run.
Absolutely, and one of those bullet points has come to this stream, right?
That
What's up,
is
guys?
it. I needed to get in the study mode by being with a couple people who study on the regular and remind myself what group studying is all about.
There you go. What's up, Sixes?
What's up, man? Sorry, I had you guys muted for a second while I did the intro. What's up, guys?
Yo, what's up, man?
Not much, man.
Cool.
So yeah, where were you guys talking about? Where were you at today?
We were just talking about Evan being here and him having his webinar a little later today about how to maximize your study EV. You can see it right there on my screen here. It's in the lobby for pokercoaching.com. Yeah. You want me to kick it off?
He was also talking about how you guys are going to whoop me on the study stream today because you've been getting way more reps in lately and I might be a little rusty.
Oh, you know what we could do, though? Since you're here, we can make this more of a cash game study session. We don't do much of it, so it'd be good for all of us.
I think that's a great idea. Just check. We need to do more cash. We mix it in, maybe 1, 2 or 3 a month, something like that. And we do a ton of tournament stuff. But the cash game stuff is fun. We've all played 1-3 in our lives at some point. So everybody in this chat who's played poker has played 1-3 or 1-2 at some point, So it's fun to go over some hands.
It's also fun to play 1-2 and 1-3, man. Some of those games
Exactly.
get so good. And when the stacks get deep and people have no experience playing deep, oh, man, you can clean up.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it.
All right, so give this video. PokerCoach.com study session stream. We do this every Saturday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. I record these. I put them on my YouTube channel. So if you ever miss any part of this one or any part of the ones we've done in the past, you can go there, check them out, ask any questions you like. I will answer them. I will make sure that either Evan gets them or Matt gets them when he was guesting last week, or Sixes gets them. So make sure you tune into that. Exclamation point PC in my chat, exclamation point PC in Sixes chat, and you will get a link to go to pokercoaching.com where you can sign up for free and get 20 quizzes, a bunch of homeworks, big blind charts for 100 blinds or less. There's some staking opportunities there. So make sure you check that out. It's got a host of coaches, 3 of them on the stream right now. Me, Sixes, Evan. We got Lexi Gavin, Faraz Jaka, Asasianato, Matt Affleck, Jonathan Little. It just keeps growing. Tristan Wade. Am I missing someone? I'm sure I am. Did I miss anything, Sixes?
Jaffe.
Jaffe.
There
you go. Yeah. Jonathan Jaffe's another good one.
Yeah,
and there you go. That's the spiel.
And actually, it's hard to keep up, right? Aceveto's in there, too. He seems to be adding people like every couple months. It's very hard to keep up with like all the names that are there. It's
just so much content.
Left, right, and center.
So much content, you can just consume this for the rest of your life. There's just 800 quizzes, homeworks, man. And it's just growing and getting better. So, yeah, man, you guys can get in there for free. That's the sick thing as well. There's free charts. I don't know. It's sick.
Nice. Got a few hellos. Rad Dad says, what's up? Grip. Clutus getting in there. Area Runner in the house. What's up, guys? Verbatim Girl says hello to everybody. I'm glad you made it to the stream. Reno Runner says, played 1-3 once, went broke, and within an hour. Jellyfish says,
that usually happens the first time, right? No one's going to get it right the first time.
Nope. Now, did we do a little introduction to my chat maybe didn't get a chance to hear a little background on Evan himself. Did he give that? Did you guys do that already?
We didn't. I put him on the spot and said, say hello. And he said, hi.
Cool. You want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man, your background? Because I've done my research and I've consumed some of your podcast and the early training stuff, and I like it, man. I love it.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll give a quick little intro. So I got introduced to the game during the Great Sports Strike in 2003 or 2004, whatever it was. I had just gone off to college, so I was kind of free of my parents' reign, and I could do whatever I wanted. And when they started broadcasting poker on TV, I said, wait a minute. I've been playing card games since I was like 3-4 years old with my grandparents, and I was usually pretty good at them. And here we have something that you can make money at, and here we have something that's actually like, quote unquote cool. Let me try that. And I did, whatever, the first couple times, but I found out that they had books on the stuff because some kids who were playing were making fun of another guy for reading books. And I said, oh my God, there's poker books. There's poker strategy. So I started researching, started reading the books, going to pokertips.org because that was site learning, playing sit and goes, winning. Switched over to shorthand sit and goes, kept winning. Then training sites came out, Card Runners, Poker X Factor, switched over to cash games, and that's when things really took off. And early on, I learned that one of the best ways to learn something was to teach it. So I just got into the process of, teaching my friends who I could. how to improve their game, and people were always asking the same questions, like, hey, you play poker, can you teach me how to play? And eventually I realized, you know what, I should just make a little course on that, so I can just say, yeah, I can teach you how to play, go watch this course. So about 12 years ago, I put up my first course on YouTube. It's about 2 hours long, teaching everything from pre-flop to river play and how to adjust to the different player types, and it was really popular. And then I started to get some hits on the videos, and I said, oh, people actually like this stuff. Let me start making more. So I started, making more content in 2010, streaming in 2011, 2012, actually doing things like this where I would do live study sessions with people. And then I started doing Q&A videos where people would send questions. I'd make a response. And then I wanted to learn tournaments. So I started reviewing tournament hand histories, and it just grew very organically. And I saw the power of having a team around you really can speed up your learning process. And that's what's great about being part of a good team. And through doing all that, making YouTube videos, doing live streams, Jonathan eventually reached out and said, do you want to write a chapter in Excelling at No Limit Hold'em? I said, slam dunk, yes, I'm doing that 100%. And that led to him eventually bringing me on board for pokercoaching.com. And now I'm just so grateful that I basically get to make a living teaching the game I love in addition to playing the game I love. And I basically, I try to play and teach and stream as often as possible. And on the side, I also do a lot of study in yoga, holistic lifestyle, mindset, basically anything I felt that could improve my edge in the game by improving my focus, but also increase my resilience and stamina by increasing my ability to handle stress. I went off and studied a lot of that. So that's why I wasn't around the game a ton in the last few years, but I feel like I've learned the main things I needed to learn there, and so I'm back playing poker regularly. And once in a while I get a 5-figure score, and I'm really happy about that. But mostly I just like to grind out small mid-stakes cash games where it's really easy to apply all the stuff and the stress level's low. And I like to also play home games with the community. And so doing a study stream like this is great because I'm all about like getting to connect with other people who are passionate about the game and just learning constantly and performing well. And I get to learn from you guys too. So it's really just a blessed situation that I find myself in these days. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how common that story kind of is. I mean, it reminds me of how I met Sixes, and 3 years ago we teamed up and decided we should study together and get a little team together because, iron sharpens iron, and it just, like you said, speeds up the process so much. Just get in there with good people that you trust and do some work and get better together. It's amazing.
Yeah. And like the really powerful thing is, a lot of people think like, oh, I need a study group. I need a lot of people to work with. If you just get one guy who has the same level of passion for the game as you do, you'll take off. Like I found that when I met Greg Merson in 2011, I took off with my poker game, got him into meditation and stuff. He took off with his performance game. Same with a couple students. Charlie Carroll found Ben Heath. 2 of them took off together, and it was just the 2 of them. Ali Msirovic met a guy named Roke, who's kind of under the radar and people don't know, but once they found each other, just took off. Because when you have one person to bounce ideas off of who's also doing research and helping to reinforce the concepts with you, you're good. And you don't have necessarily 5 different voices who you have to, appease everyone's opinion. You just have one person who gets it, gets you, and has a similar mindset to you, and you can evolve so quickly with just having that one, poker best friend. And that's why I think poker coaching community is great because it gives people that opportunity to connect with each other quite easily and effectively.
And it's so easy to get like siloed by yourself in this game, especially if you're not an online player, right? You just sit in front of this monitor all day and miss the sun and don't sleep.
Right.
People. Cool.
Yeah, a lot of good points there, man. And I think, like you said, trying to be a well-rounded poker player and working on the other side of the game, like you've been doing the mental game of it as well. Maybe something I don't do. I'm so passionate about trying to get better and studying and things like that, but I think it's important to incorporate that aspect, and a lot of people miss that. Like, you don't take the diet, you don't take the mental game, the meditation, because this game is extremely stressful. And it's easy to ignore that aspect. And like you guys said a lot, I mean, the poker best friend, me and Toe have been trying to get better for a long time. And I think we've improved drastically because of it, and saying you got to find somebody who's passionate, like you said. So a lot of good points there, man. A lot of good points.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for Sixes yelling at me for being too nitty and for me yelling at sixes for c-betting too much. Who knows where he'd be?
True.
Cool. Let's kick this sucker off.
All right, yeah, like I guess we should start off with a cash game one, right? We do a couple cash and then, mix in some tournaments. But the way this usually goes, if you're not familiar, Evan, or anybody else who's new to this stream, maybe from your community, we encourage you guys, we'll pull up a quiz, and then we'll encourage you guys to be a chat pro, come out there and give your opinion on, what direction you would go in the hand and maybe why. We'll hear the instructor, whoever's running the quiz opinion, and then we'll give our opinion as well on how to proceed. So be active out there, guys. Don't be shy. It's all good.
Sounds like a really good format.
Yeah, super fun.
Involved.
Chat pro. Everybody wants to chat pro. Sometimes this is the perfect opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and also don't forget, we also a little giveaway at the end of this too. We'll get the comments from my chat, the comments from Six's chat, and whoever gets the better score. Chat versus chat will get a $10 giveaway, either ACR or what's the other? PayPal. Whatever's easier for you guys. So a little competition for everybody. Cool. You want to pick a quiz to start off, Sixes?
Evan, you want to start it off? I mean, maybe first time here. You can pick off one of the quizzes that looks interesting to you. Actually, we should probably pick because we've done so many of them, and we might run into him picking one we've already done.
No pressure, Evan. We're going to make you do one of your own quizzes.
That's okay, as long as you don't make me do Matt's quizzes, because I cannot seem to get a single point on Matt's quizzes. They are so hard.
And it's funny consolation, Matt missed his own quiz last week. So
yeah, he did. That's funny as hell.
Awesome, Tristan. I see like 758. Does that look good? Ace 10 off in a cash game?
I was going to start off with the warm-up of Jonathan, but yeah, 768 or 58.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do 2-5 cash game, ace 10. Let's do it. What up, Dr.
Don't take very many his quizzes.
Oh, actually, I've done that one week when you weren't here.
What?
I've already got scores in it, yeah.
What the hell?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I've already done it. How did I do on it? Ooh, we got wrecked in it as well, so that's good.
All right, let me pick a different one real quick.
All right.
The whole top, like, 2/3 of the cash game section are either Evan or Matt. What about 780?
780. Let's do it.
Ooh, little Jonathan, high
25.
stakes.
Ooh, nice. I wonder if it's going to be him playing the Poker Night on America, and we'll have to interpret it that way. So, yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. Wait. I am ready to kick it off. Ready?
Yep.
I'll play the quiz.
Yep.
Here we have Ace Jack suited playing 25-50 no limit hold'em cash game. Our opponent is a good, overly loose aggressive opponent who does not mind getting out of line. And he raises to $150. We are playing 200 big blinds deep. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 450, or re-raise to 750?
Hey, what's up, Dr. HJ, Melissa? Good morning, guys. All right.
Needs a wingman, indeed. All right, guys, what are you going to do? Ace Jack suited on the button.
Versus a laggy guy who's not scared to play pots. 450, Dr. HJ says in my chat, so we got a 3-bet.
I got a handful of 450s. 450 from Mendo, 450 from Jellyfish, 450 from Verbatim Girl, and Holding Me's Nuts is just calling.
I would say raise. We raise to 450. He's a solid hand versus a laggy, and they know that he's likely to call with worse. Okay.
I have 2 calls, and 450 is just 3 calls, and 450 just streaming through my chat.
450s here as well, so Prodigy. Do we want to try to isolate the jack? I mean, we're just essentially deciding if we can 3-bet for value, or should we be calling to keep in worse parts of his, he's going to have worse ace-x, worse jack-x, and then we may even get the big blind or small blind if they're not going to squeeze to come in with worse hands as well. Is this capable? Is this player going to 4-bet? What do you guys think? And everybody's 3-betting in my
Mike
chat.
Mercy getting a little cray-cray and going 750. He's going super big. What do you think, Sixes?
I can definitely go either way here. There's no indication of like we're going to get squeezed behind. We would be able to play in a cash game, keep it in some worse hands. But if he's laggy, he's going to be calling 3-bets. We're in position. I would likely be going like 450 as well, a lot here. But I could certainly see a case for just calling and keeping it in some worse hands. But if he's this laggy, it feels like we're 3-betting for value essentially, in my opinion. But this isn't a tournament, This isn't a tournament. This is cash. So
yeah, way out of my element.
Yeah.
I played like
way out of
2 cash games this year or last year. So yeah, for me, I'm generally on the flat side for this one, especially ace-jack suited. I don't really want to like get in a 3-bet, 4-bet crazy scenario. This hand flaps well. We have position. I'm going to be in the call boat and, like you said, kind of keep worse ace-x in and things like that, and kind of have a strong hand, a little under repped. What do you think, Evan?
Yeah, one thing I'd really like to know is what the reads on the big blind and the small blind players are.
Exactly.
Because, if we had reads that either of these are like serious Rex or serious amateur players, we may want to just flat with, or that makes us lean more towards flatting with ace-jack suited to bring those players in. Whereas if they're aggressive players or they're just regs and the lag is kind of the spot, we lean a bit more towards 3-betting to isolate them.
You don't want to get squozen.
You don't want to get squoze. Ace-jack suited, definitely a great hand to play deep stack in position because we can cooler a lot of stuff. But as Jonathan says in the intro, if he's a laggy guy who doesn't mind, playing bigger pots out of position, maybe calling 3-bets out of position with like weaker suited connectors where he could potentially cooler himself, I think because we're 200 big blinds deep, 3-betting is going to have a bit more merit. Whereas 100 big blinds deep calling has a bit more merit, but I think it's probably like pretty close in terms of like EVs. Just the hand this strong, we can definitely be 3-betting for value against this kind of guy. And with how deep we are, I mean, we may even be able to potentially call a 4-bet too if he doesn't size it up too big.
Sure.
I think the points will probably be pretty close for both of them. And hopefully Jonathan's like me where he doesn't mind sometimes giving 10 for both answers that like have a ton of merit both ways, right?
Ooh. And if you were going to raise it, would you go 450 or 750?
I think I'm just going 450. I think that 750 is unnecessarily large.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think I just go 450.
Yeah, without reads versus the blinds, I guess we can just say we're just 3-betting a lot for value if these guys, But like you make a good point. Like I would love to flat here if there's a fish or a more inexperienced player in a big blind who's going to make massive post flops mistakes, And I would love to keep him in the pot at all times if we can with strong hands. So, but in this case, I guess we just I'm just going to 3-bet to 450. You ready to move on, Toe? What are you doing here?
My whole chat said 450. You guys said 450, and I'm a tournament specialist, so 450 it is.
All right, cool. Thanks for the follow, Sonic Turtle. Let's do this, boys. 450 it is.
Give the points to GodsBigToe.
This is a spot to call or raise, depending on how you expect your opponent to react. If your opponent is going to 4-bet you a lot, you have to ask, do I really want to be getting 4-bet? Well, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. If your opponent really is absurd, you can easily call the 4-bet or even 5-bet jam, which starts to get a little bit insane for 200 big blinds. But I think in general you just want to call here. If this was an offsuit hand, I'd be more inclined to 3-bet with the intention of folding to a 4-bet, but I'm not really sure I want to do that against this specific opponent because this specific opponent may be inclined to 4-bet, right? So for that reason, I'm going to be doing a whole lot of calling in position against this player and just not a lot of folding post-flop. So I typically lean towards calling, but if you said 3-bet to 450, that's perfectly fine. You don't want to 3-bet to 750 because then if your opponent does call your gigantic 3-bet, you could easily be in marginal shape, and if he does 4-bet then, you also have to be pretty unhappy. So we're going to call. Also notice if the blinds call, that's fine. We have a hand that plays a great multi-way. Big suited cards are just fine 3-bet or called. But if you do want to have some big hands in your calling range and some big hands in your 3-betting range, it's often best to have the suited ones in your calling range because they flop better. All right, flop comes Queen Jack 3, and the opponent bets 300 into the 375 pot. Should we fold, call,
Bombed it.
raise to 800, or raise to 1200?
Yeah, like everyone was saying, super, super close on this one, right? Raise was 9, call was 10, same thing. Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, like you said. It should be like a 10 for both, but it's either way. You know, he thought it'd be best to call because this particular opponent might 4-bet a little bit more than some other guys who are just aggressive. So, fair points, and you shouldn't feel bad if you got a 9 there.
Not at all. Cool. What are you guys doing now? I see just calls streaming through. Tweezer, Re-Raise, Cyrus, Sweaty Hands, Maiden Girl, Jump Ball, the Great Cletus, all. I say call, so raise. Everyone's saying call. Holden Me's Nuts call. Arena Runner call. Call. Toe says call.
Ev says call. I don't even know how to break it down. It just seems like it's a call.
Yeah, marginal made hand. We don't turn these into bluffs. We just call, guys. Yeah, so we're just going to call here and get a 10 and see what happens on the turn.
That's good.
Yeah, let's all do that. Team call.
Team call.
Team.
Hooray.
This is a great spot to just call. I don't think the other plays have much merit at all. And that's mainly because we have a very clear marginal made hand, right? If I raise and get re-raised, it's terrible. If I raise and get called, it's terrible. And against this particular opponent, I know I can at least very easily call the turn because he is a loose aggressive player and, maybe even the river. So I definitely prefer a call in this situation. In general, with a marginal made hand, you just don't want to do anything to mess it up. And the way I mess this up is by raising. So let's call. Turn is a 2 of clubs, and now the opponent checks. Should I check, bet 300, bet 600, or bet 900?
The plot thickens.
Does it?
Well, we have more information.
No.
Checks the turn.
I know. Yeah, we do. What are you guys doing here? Which size? Or are we checking back?
Jack started to stream. Chat again.
Nope. Oh,
Nope.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
He couldn't contain himself.
I burped. I belched. I like 600 2/3 pot, 300. Now all my chat is saying bet. I accidentally. 600 seems logical. Donor. We got some 600s. We got some 300s.
Yeah, I got a bunch of checks, still marginal main hand, trying to get the showdown, a bunch of checks. Holden says he's like 450, and Jellyfish is going 600. Yeah. Gonna check back and let him bluff the river as his cap. I mean,
All right, Evan, what are you doing here first?
I can't help myself. I'm bad.
Yeah, I think it's important to really look at 2 streets at the same time here.
Listen,
because if we're checking back to call river, right? That's kind of the game plan. If we're betting, are we bet calling facing a check raise, or are we bet folding facing a check raise? Because the thing is, he could take this line and check raise with a lot of like combo draws, and I guess he probably doesn't have that many made hands. So if we bet, is our plan to bet call, or are we bet folding? Because the one time I see myself get in trouble, I had a spot like this yesterday actually, where I bet the turn, guy put it in for about a pot-sized bet, and I thought, there aren't enough draws, so I folded, and he showed me a bluff. And I'm like, well, the one risk to betting the turn is that you open up the door to more action, but as long as you have a plan for that action, you're fine. Whereas checking back is kind of the easy route. You get it to showdown, you lock in whatever, a few $100 of value from his bluffs, and you get one street from his weaker jacks. But also, if you bet the turn, you can get value from the weaker jacks. You can charge the draws as well, especially if he's the type of player to check call with those hands, and you give yourself the option to just check back the river and get a cheaper showdown. So at first glance I thought, we'll just check back, call the river, but we're probably leaving some value on the table. So I think I like the 600 sizing to charge any potential weaker draws out there, get some value from a weaker jack, and also give us the option, if we're so inclined, to open the door for a big bet on the river if we want to try to bluff out a queen with a
And so
big
you
two-row
are
attack.
going to bet call then, right? Obviously.
I mean, we'll see the sizing, but
Sure.
I think queens would probably continue betting. I think threes would probably continue betting. So even though he could check raise with them, I think we're more likely to see him continue betting with the sets. And if he check raises, it's some kind of combo draw. More likely. Can't be for sure though, right? I'm not staring the guy down.
Sure. Can't read his soul.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well. And a Liggy player is going to be likely to turn a hand like ace-5 of clubs, ace-10 of clubs on the turn that he might have just c-bet here, and then picked up a backdoor draw and check raise it, or maybe just play a king-10 as a check raise on the turn. I would just tend to, if I'm betting, I plan to bet call a lot depending on, his size. But yeah, I completely agree. The bet here gives us a street to get value from some other hands, some worse hands, charge some draws, and then we can make decisions on river to get 2 streets. So yeah, I think I would always use the bet line here. I tend to use the bet line here a lot, so I would go 600 for sure.
It's funny because a few weeks ago I was 1,000% check here, and then I studied with Jonathan Little, and he yelled at me. He said, "Get that value." So now I'm betting.
Yeah, we argue about these spots a lot. So I'm always
think,
betting.
Do you feel like you get check raised often? Do you think it goes
No.
bet check raise often?
Well, you got to think about the popularity. What happens generally? What happens more often? A guy opens, c-bets, and then check gives up, or check calls, or a guy goes open, c-bet, and then check raise turn. That check raise turn line is so infrequent, and I think a lot of times they either give up or they check call or something like that. I think the other options happen more than check raise turn.
Sure. I mean, it definitely happens, and it's funny that Evan mentioned that because it happened to me yesterday too, and the guy showed the draw. But
how many other times did you forget that the guy went c-bet into you, and then it happened so many times you even forgot it happened. Like it happened probably dozens of times.
Yeah, and
you remember the one time you get check raised.
Yeah.
I think a good point to that, because the thought can be like, oh, what do we do if we get check raised? Well, the more important thought should be as Six has said, what happens most of the time? Okay, let's work on that situation. And instead of focusing on the outlier that happens 10% of the time, our strategy should be based around what happens 90% of the time. And if we find ourselves in that situation where we do face a check raise, okay, we can figure that out then. But a lot of people, myself included, I've got froze up there because I'm like, oh, well, what if the worst case scenario happens? Well, most of the time you don't need to be preparing for the worst case scenario. Your strategy shouldn't be based around that. And you can figure out a plan for it when it comes.
Sure.
Because you're going to print. You're going to print in this spot if you just play. You're going to print more money by betting here, I think.
Yeah.
And getting called by worse and charging his draws rather than picking up a small value bet on the river, hoping he might go check fold. If he misses his draw, he might have caught a street with. Or, we get a small value bet on the river where we could have got 2 from a Jack X. I don't know. I like to just bet here a lot.
Cool. 600?
Yeah, let's see what Jonathan thinks, though. I'm very curious to think. Maybe he thinks it's just a 2-street hand and we get our 1 street. For sure, always take the line of check call on river versus an opponent like this. So I'm very curious as well. All right. Let's do it. Oh, piss.
Once he checks the turn, I have the best hand.
Sixes, you got to listen to them chat pros more,
So
bro.
the question was, should I value bet or should I check? And I think we can certainly go either way. If I am going to bet, I want to bet on the small side so that if I do bet and get raised, I can conceivably stick around against my loose aggressive opponent. And also, whenever I bet big, that's going to result in him folding out all of his hands that are drawing relatively thin. Like, when I bet, let's say 300, I'm trying to get called by a hand like pocket ace or ace 3. Whereas when I bet something like 900, well, a lot of those hands are just going to fold, right? And since I really don't want my opponent folding those hands, or my opponent folding those hands, in this scenario, I think the only play that makes sense is either check or bet small. In general, though, if I was against a tight aggressive player, someone who's not going to do a whole lot of bluffing on the river if it goes check-check, I'm definitely inclined to value bet. But against a loose aggressive opponent who will conceivably bluff with a lot of his unpaired hands on the river, like say he has 8-7 of hearts, right? Maybe he bets the flop and then decides to give up, but he gets to the river with eight high. He's like, oh, well, maybe I need to bluff, right? So for that reason, I think that it is better to check against the loose aggressive opponents. Also, you sidestep the really nasty spot where you bet and get raised. Whereas against a tight aggressive player, if he checks a turn and you bet and he raises you, you can just fold. So I like check on the turn. River is the 6 of hearts, and now the opponent bets a casual 3 times the size of the pot. 2,700 into the 975 pot. Should I fold, call, or go all in?
What the hell?
What? Oh my goodness. So I think Jonathan summarizes that by saying versus this this player archetype, he's going to use a lot more checks. Whereas maybe versus some players who aren't laggy or not capable, he's going to bet a lot with this on the turn. It's kind of what I...
Yeah, and he also didn't like 600 and 900. He would have gone smaller if he was going to bet.
But, yeah, because I guess what we're targeting, what does go see check, we block a lot of Jack X, underpair just going to fold. I guess his hands like his draws would probably keep betting, but I think those would call for 600. And there's not too many of those. It's just ace high and under pairs. I don't know. I guess we can just go small and get one more street there, but I thought 600 would be a good bet.
Now,
Well, a funny thing about this situation is he talked about how when we check the turn, we sidestep the nasty situation of getting check raised.
Right.
But instead, he's put himself in a nice nasty situation where he's facing a 3x pot bet with a capped range.
It's kind of worse, right?
Yeah, God. Yeah, we've super capped here. Yeah, and now we're facing a raise where it feels like we're just guessing here. This guy's just going to overbet bluff. You know, maybe he has 4 or 5 or something like that. I mean, there's just so much randomness to this hand.
I think he's got those crazy 6s.
Could be. Absolutely.
That's one of the few hands that actually makes sense for value.
Absolutely. What's your chat saying?
They are pleading the 5th. I got a couple of calls. Yeah, basically a handful of calls.
That's
Paying him off and getting the news that he has a set. It's kept. Yeah.
2,700. Oof.
That doesn't seem like good logic. You pay $3,000 for the news?
For the
You
news.
know how much this is in Canadian dollars? That's a lot.
It's a lot of money, just 3K. Just all right, we're getting a bunch of calls. So we got call. Grunt is calling. I really want to call here, but not sure if it's best. Folds. This is when you want to check. Check turns were capped. It's like 50-50 it almost with calls and folds. Bad odds though. Fold. I'll be honest. I mean, I think I'm just folding here.
Hornut says he's going to call his mommy. Sweaty Hand says, got to call now. This guy thinks we're really weak. At this point, he's already played this hand really fishy, making the crying call.
So Taz Mraz says stack preservation. No stack preservation here. Jonathan can reach in them deep pockets and grab 3K and rebuy if he thinks he's just, this guy's just bluffing. So, yeah.
What are you doing, Evan?
He's a stat.
I'm folding. I don't think I have enough reasons to call. I mean, maybe Jonathan's going to mention that we don't have any blockers to the draws, so therefore the guy's going to have like more like King 10 or 10-9, but those might have kept betting turn. Like, I don't see what random hand he's going to have here for 3x, but I guess that's why it's a random hand. I'm folding.
Yep.
I'm folding.
Yeah, I'd probably fold in game because I hate cash games and they make me uncomfortable. So I'm like, $2,700. That's like 2/3 of my Sunday session. Yeah, I guess I could see fold.
Yeah, I mean, going all
It's
in.
such a polarizing
don't
bet
bluff.
too, right? Like, God.
Yeah, I'm just folding. I guess I don't know. We don't know this opponent as well as Jonathan does. You would almost need a read here, like, and some experience to just be able to just snap call this off. I don't know if we cap ourselves on the turn. If we can just call here, but maybe he can. So I'm just gonna fold though. I'm out.
Okay.
You guys want to just do it?
I'm wondering if I should call just because the chat called. I'm feeling ambitious.
Do it for the chat, man.
Do it for your
chat.
chat.
I'll call.
Give them a chance.
The Toe
man. Do it for
Army.
the chat has been so right the whole time.
That's true.
We
Chat is
should
good.
go with chat one time.
All right.
All right, guys,
He's
we're going
going
with it.
chat. He's doing it. I'm folding. Let's go. Oh.
Oh, this is where knowing your opponent is very, very important. If I had never played with my opponent before in this scenario, I could conceivably fold. But knowing what I know about this opponent and knowing that he loves to bluff, especially using large amounts on the river, I think this is a pretty easy call. If this was a small stakes game, like a $1, $2 game against someone who is loose and aggressive, but certainly not like good and competent, I'd be way more inclined to fold, just because people don't make giant bets like this on the river without the nuts in small stakes games. It really does take a particularly strong opponent who is willing to make this type of play as a bluff. So knowing what I know about my opponent here, I think this is actually a pretty easy call. But I'll give you some credit for saying fold, just because I realize the vast majority of players in most games, especially smaller stakes games, tend to mostly value bet whenever they use a big bet size like this, a 3 times pot bet, right? So for that reason, I do think this is generally a call given lots of draws missed, right? But I certainly could see it being folded certainly against straightforward opponents, and very likely even against like the generic loose aggressive player in small stakes games, but not in high stakes games, not against opponents who are capable of using river bets or over bets as a bluff. So I look him up. He has a 10-8 of spades, and I collect a nice pot.
Sheesh. Chat is fearless.
God, you guys are too. A lot of my chat was like saying call there as well. People were snap calling. Yikes. Chat is too good, man. Chat is undefeated. Good job, guys. Good job. Let's do it. That was fun. That was a good one. I think we learned a lot of little things there. And yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
I would have liked a slightly more descriptive label than lag. Because on the end, he's like, yeah, given what I know, it's an easy call.
Sure,
Yeah.
He didn't give all the details.
Given what you know about just lag, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like I said, like to start, we have to know more about that opponent to be able to just snap call it like he said there. Like, if you sit down with the guy the first hand of the night, and we can tell he might be just kind of laggy from an image perspective, and then he does that, I don't think we can just snap. I don't know. All right. Whose turn is it? Toe, you picking?
I got that one.
Oh shit, it's my turn.
Yeah, you're picking sixes.
Let's do it. And that was just no Faraz this week. Oh,
No,
is it?
Faraz is tough.
Yeah, he always leaves you hanging too. Whereas like
Yeah.
he gives you all the description, he tells you what the move is for the river play or whatever, and then he'll show his play and he never shows what happens because
Yeah,
effectively it doesn't matter, right? It's just about the situation being right. But he leaves you hanging every time. The chat goes crazy.
It's true that in analysis, like it doesn't matter, but for everyone who's watching those quizzes, like give the people some closure.
It's heartbreak.
Yeah, it's heartbreak every time at the end. I love torturing myself with it, and I almost forget sometimes. And then he's just like, "Yep, player calls," and that's
Every
it.
quiz.
It just doesn't
Every
show it. Every. I want to do. We can't do an Assassinato run yet. I mean, this man has 7-minute explanations, 8-minute, like 15-minute quizzes.
Matt was so funny last week making fun of him.
Yeah.
What was Matt saying about the
one, or you want to switch over to tournaments?
Let's do a tourney spot real quick while we have, because we gotta check his tourney IQ as well. My man is a beast at all formats. I'm looking for a good Matt one. Here we go. 748. We got Affleck, assuming weak rec in the main event. He has 6-5 of clubs. 748. Have you done that one?
I have, but I don't remember it. It's forever ago.
Oh, but if you already got the scores there, we can do another one. Did you do 736?
730. Nope.
All right, let's do that with aces, boys. Let's play aces early this morning. Let's do it.
All right, playing it now.
Yep.
All right. Continuing on with
There we go.
pieces, early position, we make it 1200. My strategy at this point was everyone else had around starting stack was only like 100 big blinds now. I had about 150, so I was just min raising in early position and then raising larger in later positions. Folds to the big blind, competent recreational player. He makes it 3,500. Should I fold, call, re-raise to 10,000, or go all in?
I had to look at this a couple of times. I'm like, wait, what the hell? The blind? What's the big blind? What's going on here?
3-6. It's 3-6. And he opened at 1,200.
I
And
got
the
so-
big blind, pretty bad.
I got so confused. He opened to 3,500. What the hell?
Yeah. What's up, guy BIP Casper? Good morning, guys. All right.
Verbatim, yeah, it looks like Matt's video is going to be a little low. Jonathan did a better job of recording his. I tried to mute everything for you.
Yeah, I did too. I muted everything as well. Hopefully you guys could hear. He was just pretty standard spot. He just said this dude in the big blind's a competent reg. He was using a smaller sizing up front and bigger sizing in later position here. So what do we like here? We got a re-raise to 10K from Dunner. What are we doing here, boys? Anybody flatting, anybody 3-betting, anybody just ripping it in? 10K, 10Ks.
10K, 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 and then 1, 2, 3, 4 calls.
Somebody got to say call.
Yeah.
The one thing is, like, when we 4-bet this spot, having raised from this position, him 3-betting the big blind, where he probably shouldn't have too many bluffs. If we 4-bet here, we're putting our range pretty strong and pretty face up, and we're still deep enough that the guy can have odds to set mine. I don't know if we get maximum value by 4-betting unless he has, like, kings. And even still, I think we might be able to extract just as much value by calling and playing with a more disguised range and maybe springing a raise later. I think they're both good. I think I actually, in this spot, if the guy's competent, I think I just call at this stack depth. If he's a less competent rec, then yeah, just make it big and get the money in against 10s plus because they'll put it in. But against somebody who really knows what they're doing under the gun versus big blind, I think I probably just smooth call, disguise the hand. Ace is a great hand to slow play.
In position as well, yeah, for sure. I agree. I'm just flatting here. I think when we start, 4-betting from this spot when we're opening early under the gun +1, and then he's 3-betting from an uncommon spot like the big blind to our early position open, we really start condensing ranges where we can call here, play it in position, and we have a lot of outlets to make a lot of value in this spot and position as well. So yeah, I want to keep my range wide in disguise, kind of like you said as well, and call.
Yeah, Red says we're deep and we want a big pot, but like these guys are saying, when we 4-bet this, we narrow their range to what? Queens, kings, ace, king?
And it's okay. Like, the guy might still call with like 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, that whole range, but it's that post flop. I don't know if he's going to keep holding on to the hand at that point.
Sure. And we might have 3 streets otherwise. Jeff says, don't think I'm ever calling. Interested in reasoning of you guys, which is basically want to keep the worst part of his range in, right? And not push him off on flops. Cool. So I guess we're calling, huh?
Yeah, so Lyra says the EV of your overall strategy doesn't change much. Rather, you 4-bet or flat. Big blind range is polar. I think we can re-raise versus a wreck because he's 3-betting a polarized range, which is most likely just comprised of like maybe strong linear hands. Maybe this guy doesn't ever have any bluffs, and he's not even using like king jack suited, which I know would be a high 3-bet frequency hand from the big blind here. King 10 suited. He's probably just using all strong hands. So somebody's making a case for maybe 4-betting here versus a wreck.
4-betting's also like totally fine.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Solaris comes out of left field with that. I'm gonna take you up on that, Solaris. I kind of like that logic there. So, all right, I'm 4-betting.
Do it.
Mixing it in. Yep, we're doing it.
Here we go.
Yep.
I think we have a pretty clear 4-bet for value. I like re-raising to the 10,000. If we were shorter stacked, I would almost always just call here. If you only had like 50 or 60 big blinds, I would just call. But the thing is people do not 3-bet enough out of the big blind. They're normally pretty value heavy, don't bluff enough. And so I think he's just going to have aces, kings, maybe not even ace king here, maybe queens, and then you just don't bluff enough. in this. They're very unbalanced here. It's a very strong 3-bet here. And so I don't think we need to just flat call here ever because he's so strong. So, yeah, re-raise to 10,000 seems very clear to me. And our opponent calls. Plus, we're really deep stack, so we always want to be 4-betting here. If we were shallower, like I said, I like slow playing aces. Comes Jack 8-3 Rainbow. He checks to us. Should we check? Bet 5,000, bet 10,000, or bet 16,000?
Cool. See bet or no, guys? What do you think?
Let's get the money in. And once he's called the 4-bet, I can't see anything other than just bet it big and get ready to keep the rest of your chips right at the line so you can drop him in if he puts the check raise in, because you might get in with those kings and queens. If it's jack, so be it. But at this point, man, only 4x pot remaining. I think just bet big and get ready to call.
What's big for you? Is big half pot or is big 16K?
I'd do the 16K. I don't know what Matt's going to do, but I'd just do the 16K. And
yeah, I think we're this deep. We can pretty safely do that. I kind of agree with the 16K myself. A couple of 10Ks, pretty even in my chat between 10Ks and 16Ks, looks like. So if I just put 5K out there in a 20, you're just going quarter pot and a 4-bet pot. Like, he's always got a pair here. He's always going to float one.
I am. I'm kind of torn here, man.
That's because you like quarter pot.
I do. I really do. I like quarter pot over bet turn, maybe. But I do weird things, so I know he's going to continue with his entire range and check raise a higher frequency. When we go quarter pot, his entire range is going to continue his, king, queens, all that shit. And there's no draws. There's no flush draws we need to be concerned about. I'm not really worried about him having some of the gut shot straight draws. I need him to hit a top pair so I can stack him. And if he goes 16K, he might just fold some of that king, queen and shit like that suited.
Do we really think I don't think in his range in a 4-bet
well,
pot?
ace, queen, yeah, I guess in a 4-bet pot. What are we going to, he's just got kings, queens, tens. If he has jacks, what are we trying to stack here?
maybe we should meet in the middle and go with 10K.
Yeah.
You like the big size, you like the small size. Let's just meet in the middle and you can't go wrong now.
I like that. He's the peacemaker.
We're seeing a lot of 10Ks in the chat as well. We're seeing a lot of people do like 10K here as well. I kind of feel like 10K might be the best when we're this deep. Quarter pot might be way too small because it's going to be harder to get the money in.
Yeah, and when we're deep, our small bet, right, should be somewhere around half pot, and our big bet should be somewhere around 3/4 the pot. Right?
Yeah, maybe I like quarter pot when we're shallower.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Good points. All right, you guys talked me off of a very bad cliff. I like it.
All right, 10K.
All right, 10K. We're going to try the 10K. All right, boys.
I think betting 10,000 is pretty clearly the best option for a couple of reasons. I don't think we should ever check here. Like we said before, we're pretty sure the big blind has a very strong range, probably kings and queens. I don't even know if he 3-bets jacks pre-flop. So we're not ever folding our hand. And people play pretty straightforward in 4-bet pots. They never really bluff. So I don't like betting small, 5,000, because I just don't ever think he's going to check raise, and I don't need to give him that much rope. So that's why I like betting about half pot. And we don't need to bet bigger, like 16,000, because the stack to pot ratio right now is just under 4, so we can easily get all the money in by the river anyways. So I like betting 10,000. Our opponent calls. 8 of clubs on the turn. And our opponent leads 15,000. Should we fold, call, raise to 34,000, or go all in?
Mute it. All right. Yep. All right. Call. Everybody's calling.
What's
your chat doing?
To us with an 8, like God.
But did he magically ask the dealer if he could change one of his cards for an 8? There's no 8 that's been in this range since he 3-bet
Oh, so
pre-flop.
he's got like a set of jacks that boated up, or like queens plus, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, there's 0% chance he has like an 8 or a 3. I don't see how those are in his range. He's either got like kings, queens, or jacks. Like, that's it. I don't even know why he would ever lay jacks in this spot either. So, okay. Do we raise and like get it in versus queens or kings? Those hands are probably going to go broke on most runouts no matter what. And if we start raising, they might fold. So I think we just call. What do you guys think in chat? All my chat is just calling.
if we call here, there's 55 and there's 50 in a stack.
Yeah, you have less than a pot size bet, and also, if he's doing the old classic betting to find out where he's at play, you got to let him know that he's in a good spot by just calling. You got to misinform him and let him know that he's exactly where he wants to be. I just call.
Yeah, and I agree. And like you guys said, like kings and queens just never folding anyway, right?
Yeah.
They're probably never folding anyway, but I think, he might be in that spot where he's like, well, I'll bet, and if he raises me, he's got to have aces. But if you call, he's like, okay, my concerns are alleviated.
Yeah, he still could have ace jack suited or something, right?
I think you just have a slightly better chance of getting the money in if you just call than if you raise. I think if you
in the chat, all you can eat, a bunch of people just jamming. Call.
I would guess. I think call's best, and I would guess all in is second best, with 34 being third best. Because then, like, if you just go all in, all he has to do is say call and the money's in. Whereas if you make it 34, it's then like 2 actions to get it all in. Right now, he has to do a raise, and it's easier for people to say call. So I think all in's my second favorite, but he's doing the work for us. Let's just let him keep betting if he wants to.
Yep, he's doing the work for us. Our range is just, we can just get it in no matter what comes on the river, essentially. We just call and let him just jam, and then we can jam.
Overpair or ace jack that we know that money's going in. No matter, there's not a lot of scare cards on the river that are going to chase.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all good, man. Jam works, right? I'm with the Jonathan. I like to leave them the extra 10K, especially for the main event, because it's such like an event they wait all year for. But it looks like Matt was nice with this one. He says it doesn't really matter between the two. They're both 10s.
No, that's what. I kind of made that because it was like a main event when the Jonathan the hand histories for, and he made that point.
Yeah.
And as well in another quiz that we leave them a little something behind in these spots, especially in an event like a major for a rec, like a main event specifically. So, yeah, I think that's a very good point, man. I'm sorry I didn't give you an opportunity. I kind of just rushed it, my bad.
Well, I think the big thing to look at in those spots is just how invested is the person. If it's an online tournament, whatever. If it's an online tournament late in the day, they might be more invested. If it's a live tournament, is it local? If they travel, how much do they spend traveling? Are there other things to do at the stop, or are they likely just there for the tournament? And the more kind of invested they are in the tournament, I like to leave them a little bit. Whereas, if it's a tournament at a tropical destination or something where there's plenty of other fun things to do when you bust, you put the guy in 100%.
You don't feel bad about packing him up and sending him on his way, even if it's tropical.
He'll
Go to
be
the
happy
beach,
to
buddy.
get out there and do his thing, right?
That's really interesting thought process, because I definitely don't go that deep when I'm thinking about those things. And I play live a little bit, but I definitely don't go that deep. And it's really interesting, all the variables that you consider. It makes a lot of sense.
He said, what did Matt do on the turn? We lost the feed on Toe's stream. He checked. He just called on the turn. He just called because competent rec bet 15K on the turn, and we just called.
Right.
Yeah, we called. Yeah, but that's a very good point. And something playing so many online tournaments over the years, something doesn't even really cross my mind ever. I'm always just thinking about the most profitable line possible, and I would never not jam here. But I need to start even thinking about that because I would always just jam.
Yeah, because you're used to the guy who can just click register for the next tournament, or he's probably got 12 other tournaments going there. He's like, I don't care if I'm out of this one, right?
Or 12 levels of re-entry left.
Yeah.
Just so you can still got all day to re-enter. So I'm always just jamming here. But yeah, Toe Stream is back, guys. If you were there, I think Toe, you back yet?
I'm back.
Oh, he's back, guys.
Ready to
Yeah,
go. 17 viewers. We're okay. I lost about half.
Cool. Yeah.
So they'll come back. It takes about 5-10 minutes for them to come back and check.
Even if they're in
The
sixes,
initial reaction. When the stream goes down, like, end of the world, it's over, it fell apart, he's never coming back. And then after 10 minutes, like, oh, wait, what was I watching before? Oh, cool, he's back.
I know that, but like, I'm everywhere. You could be in sixes stream. I'm still there.
Yep. All right, guys. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I mean, cut you off. I wanted to see Evan pick one and see what you can pick one of your own.
Well, yeah, I think we should do one of mine because after this quiz, I got to go drive up and get my spring water because I'm down to my last 5 liters or so out of my stash. But I definitely want to at least see if I can get a good score on one of my own quizzes. So I did the 7/8 suited the other day. I haven't done King Jack suited. I haven't done. Have you guys done 8/28?
8/28.
Ace-8 suited?
Ace-8 suited.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do this. We got some fun players in this one.
Awesome. Excited. Let's do it, boys.
Hello, everyone. Evan Jarvis here for PokerCoaching.com. Today we are doing a 1-3 no limit hold'em cash game hand that I played at Casino Niagara, and I've got to say, this was probably my favorite hand of the entire weekend, and I hope you enjoy watching and learning from it as much as I did playing it. Spoiler alert, we have Ace-8 of spades. Under the gun limps, actions on you. What should you do? Should you fold, call, raise to 15, or raise to 20?
Sorry about the button, guys.
All right, boys. What do we like here, chat? Let's give the chat an opportunity. This is I'm sorry. Was the audio? Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't turn it up anymore. The audio is maxed out on my end. I got that turned all the way up, so I'm sorry if it was low.
Yeah, Skype and the browser battle for volume.
Yeah, I'll try to mess with it again next time though. But full ring +1 with Ace-8 suited. Dunner says clear 15. 15 because big blind is short. Okay.
Yeah, 15, raise 20 says Machine Gun. Just calling says Rad Dad. Fighting for Cyrus. Is it fold too nitty? Probably yes, so the quiz wouldn't exist.
Yeah. Boy, you guys are missing something here. Look at these apple bottom jeans, boots with fur, shorty got low.
Shorty got low.
I'll tell you guys, the names, as they come out over the next coming months, the names are going to get better and better and better.
Greg City with the Battler. Oh my God, what the hell? I love
that's the guy with the crazy sixes vibe for sure. The Reg City, the Battler. No.
He's a beast. Let's go.
Yeah.
Lip behind. Too many people that could act, that could 4-bet us if we ISO. Yeah, I think I'm calling here too, actually. I'll probably just limp. I can go both ways, actually. I'm a little torn.
All right, we got questions for myself. How do I feel about this table? Have I had alcoholic beverages? Am I feeling myself? So yeah, I'd probably raise here a lot, but this hand's, we're still going to play multi-way. And this hand's going to, I mean, no matter if we raise 15 or 20 in the cash game, boys, it's important to remember you're going to play multi-way a lot in 1-3, no matter what you do. So do we want to take a hand like Ace-8 suited and play it multi-way? Yes. Do we want to play it for a raise? It's going to be kind of hard to play in a raise pot multi-way. So we probably should call. But either way, I'm playing a hand. For me, it would just depend on how much money I have in my pocket, how aggressive do I feel, and how do I feel like the table's going to respond to my aggression.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, fuck. I'm going to laugh. I get it. wrong, but I'm with 6. I think I like limping's great because you invite other players who have weaker suited hands to over limp as well. But at the same time, when you're making it 15, most of those like suited connectors and stuff are going to come along, and you start to build the pot, which often is something you want to do in these smaller stakes games where you really want to be in control of the action and just kind of take charge. I think they're both fine. I'm gonna go with 15 here, but.
Yeah, if I was feeling good and aggressive, I was on my, I don't know, if I got money, and I would always just raise here and then hopefully get it versus 1 or 2 opponents, and then I think we're going to play better. And, certainly if we get in a position, which we likely won't.
And under the gun limp, under the gun 1 ISO is pretty strong. It's still an early position, right?
Yeah.
And the hand's usually going to work out better for us if we raise and get called rather than if we overlimp and someone else raises in position. Just in general, I think it's good for us to have, the uncapped range that we get by raising. Whereas overlimping, we're more defined, and then whoever kind of takes the lead pre-flop is going to have a more clear picture of the kind of hands we have.
Mm-hmm. If you bet 15 and it goes 40, 45, something like that, are you calling?
Depends who it's coming from. If, Apple bottom jeans or boots with the fur pops it up from here in these positions, I'm probably just folding. There's no need to get involved with them. You got to know that someone's 3-betting a wide range. In a lot of cases, I think the reverse they call it the dead man's hand for a reason, right? I'm rarely calling a 3-bet with this hand unless it's a very specific player with a specific dynamic. It's not. No, I'm probably folding to most 3-bets with this hand.
Agreed. Unless they make some crazy sizing error in there.
Make it 30 like or something.
Yeah, and that will happen. That will happen, boys. But yeah, I think going 15 here, and then hopefully just getting a heads up, but that's rarely going to happen. But let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Pretty much neutral. If the under the gun player is a really weak limper and we want to isolate, we can raise it up. We definitely have a hand that is good enough to do that. There are going to be some better aces that some players are limping with in first position. I often see players open limp with ace queen off, ace jack off, ace 10 off, stuff like that when they're in the first 3 seats. So we may be building a pot where we're dominated, but if that's the case, we're both going to miss the flop most of the time. And then overlimping just invites other players to overlimp as well, which when we're holding a hand like a medium strength suited ace, that's a totally fine result. Same as if we were holding a medium strength pocket pair. So if you chose raise 15, you get 10 points. If you chose call, you get 10 points. And if you chose folding, you get no points. So we overcall. Apple bottom jeans gets in there for 3 as well. Shorty got low in there for 3. Reg City, the battler. He is a regular. He likes to battle, and much warring was done over the course of the next 3 hours. Button calls, Mysterion folds, big blind calls, limper calls, actions back on you. What should you do? 22 more to call into a pot of almost 110. Should you fold, call, or back raise to 125?
All right. I have to mute all the Skype and everything while the hand's playing because it just competes with the sound. They can't hear the quiz. But, yeah, whoa with a hand. So you liked 15 but went 3 in game. Correct?
That's it, man. And I think I say both of them have their merits.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
you get 10 points for both, right?
Well, that's I in a lot of my quizzes when I think it's the EV's pretty much the same for both, I'll give 10 because they're both great plays. And what I like about studying poker is looking at what are the merits of taking one line versus what are taking the merits of the other line, and that it's not so much about what is the sole one play, but why would this play be good and why would that play be good? And then it expands your thought process to be able to consider more things in game.
Trying to evaluate which has got the better expected value. Right.
Yeah.
Cool. What are you guys doing now? Call on my chat. Calling 23.
Everybody. Yes. So we're getting, 4.8, almost 5 to 1.
Everybody's calling.
Everybody's calling.
And the immediate odds aren't so important. Look at the implieds. We're getting 10, 15 in most cases. In some cases, we're getting 20 to 1. We've got a suited ace. We want to take this flop multi-way because we can cooler all those worst flushes.
2 pairs, something like that.
Like we're gonna play super cautiously. If we hit like a pair of aces, we're probably just gonna check call 1 bet based on sizes. But with a hand of this type, we definitely want to see a flop in a single raise pot with this stack depth. I'm calling.
Agreed.
So look at all that money, call. Does it raise to 125? Do the battler ever fold ace 9 or better? I mean, I think you're kind of crazy if you...
I mean, we do have
just
an ace
gotta look
blocker in
hot,
our hand, so if we want to over limp re-raise, we are reasonably repping it because we do have an ace blocker, but it's kind of high variance.
Cool.
But then it would just be the sick level of the under the gun limp, and then you over limp.
Yeah, it's not even the first limp.
Yeah,
It's not even the first limp. You are sick. Oh, if you can pull that off.
Although in 1-3 maybe it makes sense because people go crazy, but in general, yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense.
But we also have to remember at 1-3 people are like going to be like, he over limp re-raise, maybe he has aces, whatever. I didn't drive to the casino to fold king queen suited.
Right.
Let's take a flop.
Yeah, we got to take a flop here. Exactly. All right. Yeah, we're just calling here, boys. Let's do it.
Well, there's one thing we're certainly not doing, and that's folding. And if you went for my with the back raise to 170, 125, you get some points, but not all the points. The benefit to back raising here is simply the fact that we have the ace blocker, and we're in early position where we could conceivably be going for a limp raise. So we're in early position. We could potentially be limp raising aces, and we do have an ace blocker, which makes it less likely our opponents have it, and which kind of makes it more likely that we have it. So that's why we could go for a limp raise, but if Reg City calls, everyone calls, and now we're just playing a super bloated pot, and in these games, people are pretty stationary. Once they've put in 25, they probably want to see that flop. So I think that's just going a little bit too high variance too early on, so calling is going to be the optimal play in this spot. Apple bottom jeans gets in there as well, and Shorty got low is out. She hit the flow. The flop is Jack of spades, 5 of spades, deuce of diamonds, giving us the nut flush draw. Huzzah! Big blind checks, under the gun checks. We check. Apple bottom jeans checks. Reg City, the battler, c-bets. 45? Let me just see that again in slow motion. Pot's 154, he c-bets 45. Kind of small. Fold, fold, fold. Action's on you. And remember, you and Reg City are playing pretty deep stacked here. We came to this table with a big stack. He already had a big stack, probably from doing battling. A lot of money behind. Over 200 big blinds. 250 to be exact. Should you fold the nut flush draw, call, check raise to 125, or go all in.
All right. I love the commentary on this, by the way. It's super fun. For those of you that's too low to hear, you're missing out.
When Shorty hit the flow.
Shorty hit the flop. This is great. I gotta up my quiz game. Huzzah! That's basically what you guys missed. Call. Cyrus is raising. Call. Forbidden Girl taking both sides. Call or punish him with 125. Toe is calling. Definitely calling. Already inflated pot. Definitely calling. Sixes, you out there? Sixes, you on mute?
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I muted you. I was listening and I could hear everything, and I thought I was muted. Yeah, thank you.
It's all on mute.
Yeah, my bad.
It was really,
well, I have to do it so I think it helps the quiz
It helps
so
the
they
volume.
can hear it better. Yeah, it helps the volume with the quizzes so they can hear them better. But yeah, man, I mean, this ain't a tournament, and if I flop this, I'm probably just going with it. But I could see it. Like if I'm sitting at a casino and I'm playing 1-3 and I've got 1,200 in my pocket or whatever, I'm shoving this. Like I'm seeing both cards. Using the fold equity, if we get called, we have the nut draw. I am not making it 125 personally and leaving myself 100 back. We're always going to get it in. I know this, but I'm probably just gonna jam.
Well, if you raise 125, you have 675 behind right now.
675. Oh,
It's 225
deep.
lines.
We're deep, dog. We're like
Dude,
250 big blinds deep.
I see the 225, and I thought that's how much we had in our stack for a second.
No, that's that would be
$675. Yeah, 125. Actually, in that case, I would just like calling them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry. I like looked at the 225.
I knew you were off when you said we only have 100 and something back.
Yeah. I'm probably just calling here in a position with an over as well. Like in a backdoor gut shot draw. I'm just calling. You got to play
Don't
behind
mess up
us.
the good pot odds.
Yeah, because I think if in terms of what hands he'll get it in for 200 big blinds deep, yeah, we could have a rare domination situation where he has 3-4 spades or king queen of spades. But against those hands, spade comes, we're getting all the money anyway. He bricks off. We have the best hand as is. And in terms of the hands that would actually get it in for 200 big blinds, we're either flipping against the overpair or drawing pretty thin against a set. So I like just calling here, especially for the price. And I learned a lot of this when I was first studying GTO, that a lot of times with the good draws on the flop, you want to check call to give yourself the best chance to see the turn in river. And also, it's not just a hit. If you check call and then they check back turn, you just basically turn almost all of them into bluffs. And so you're giving yourself the best chance to make your hand, but also your cheapest price to bluff them off of their weaker hands. Like basically you just kind of lower the variance on both sides of the coin.
And we still have a player behind as well who certainly can have 2s and 5s in their range. I don't know if Jacks is probably never in their range, but they can have some sets as well.
6-7 spades.
6-7. We can keep them in with worse flush draws.
Yeah.
So when we're this deep, we certainly ace high could be a showdown winner here. Very unlikely, but an ace can be good as well as the flush draw. So I think it's just kind of interesting when Reg City can still have all the overpairs in his range. This player behind can still have sets in his range. And when we start check raising here and bloating the pot with 200 bigs, out of position at that as well, it's just going to be a disaster on some turns. When we go 125, he calls. We brick. We bet what? We bet again. He calls or raises. It just becomes a disaster at that point.
If we check raise and he calls, we basically try to size the turn to give ourselves a decent price, but then he can just slam it on us and put in all this money just to fold. It's no good.
Exactly. This big, like this deep, I don't like that. Maybe for shallower, we can take some of those lines because we can get it in anyway. When like 30, 40 bigs deep, it's like, all right, fine.
Jonathan's asking if we had $250 behind or less, can we then shove?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. But here, I agree. It's too deep. I misread the hand, the amount of chips we had behind initially, but I'd certainly like call. Because we look at Pio a lot. In these spots, we certainly don't want to.
I don't want you to push yourself off. You're awesome.
No, not this deep. Yeah. Because, they can just still have nuts when they start putting in a lot of chips, and we're out of position,
Agreed.
All right.
Let's call.
Let's go.
This is a fun decision point that we find ourselves in. We can definitely have 5s and deuces, and we do have the nut flush draw, and we're facing a small size c-bet, which doesn't scream all that much strength. So check raising to 125 has quite a lot of merit. Question is, what do we do if we get jammed on? That's why check raising to this size when we have a shorter stack would be more appealing, because we can easily just call off with our likely 12 outs. A lot of merit to that play though, because we can have the hands like 5s and deuces, and he can have jacks is the one hand he can have that's nutted, but I just don't think he's going with that size with jacks. As for going all in, we do guarantee we get to see the turn in river. We're never drawing dead, but that's a lot of chips to be risking with just a flush draw. The pot's not quite big enough to justify that. Maybe if we had 1.5x pot remaining or 1x pot remaining, we could go for the check shove. But here, that's just a little bit too high of risk for not big enough reward. Folding, out of the question. Our hand's too good. So what does that leave us with? Calling. We get to see the turn for the right price. We're getting the immediate pot odds. And we also get a little bit more information about apple bottom jeans, because who's to say he can't have a little little sizzle on that board. And he comes along with the call as well. Important to note that he did not check raise, though, because that probably takes the sets out of the range. Turn is a 3 of hearts, giving us a wheel draw to go with our nut flush draw. We check. Apple bottom jeans checks. Reg City, the battler, again with the small sizing, bets 85 into 290. Actions on you. What should you do? Should you fold, call, raise to 225, or go all in?
This is a funny situation. Like, we're trying to get out of this hand in Sun Level, and yet he just keeps pricing us in.
Yeah, the price is, I mean, once again, boys, the price is good. So we're still having a discussion about wanting to check raise 125. Like, I know Dunner's really on board with check raising 125 on that flop. And I think we make some cases this deep why we don't want to do so, especially with the player behind. We can still realize our equity. And when we do check raise and he calls and we bet turn, which is a blank, and he raises, we just set a lot of money on fire where we can just call a lot. So, yeah, boys. Once again, he uses 85s. What are we doing here? We get a call.
Call streaming in our chat. We're priced in. We got extra equity. Yeah, and that's the long and the short of it.
Like, what are we representing when we check raise? I mean, ace 4 of spades. That would be kind of.
You could still have all the sets.
You can still have
twos too.
Yeah, because we would just call a set here a lot with the player behind because why not? I mean, we wouldn't just auto raise a set here on the flop multi-way because we would want to keep it under the gun +3 apple bottom jeans in the pot as well to maybe raise. So I like it. I got apple bottom jeans better had been a female. If it's a dude and you're just
no. It was a girl with a big old butt, man.
Oh, okay. I was about to say if apple
It could
bottom
have been a dude with a nice butt. Hey,
that's what she said. Okay, I just had to check. That's funny.
That's funny.
All right. I would have played
So
the hand like this too. So we're just calling. I mean, chat's like, yeah, we're just over.
You guys are calling? Oh man, but like the only thing is, like, right? Like we can call, we're getting the right price for sure, pot odds, but like if we check raise, we can blow him off top pair. We can blow him off the over pairs because we're repping sets, and he probably would have taken a bigger sizing with sets, but also, yeah, I mean, it's getting expensive unnecessarily, but if we check raise and then he piles, we're priced in to call, but we can actually win against a lot of his range that is just going to check back, take free showdown. So we could take the pot odds here and take the pot equity, but if we check raise, we also get a lot of fold equity. We probably win this pot an extra like 70% of the time.
Do you find it really hard to get people in 1-3 to full top pair and over pairs? I feel like they just never do.
Well, 100 big blinds, yes, but that's one thing. This guy's a reg and we're really deep. People don't like to blow big stacks.
Oh, sure. If he's a reg, it's fair. He's more of a thinking player than your average. I live in Vegas, like the drunk 1-3 tables are.
Oh yeah,
are cray.
Vegas, they don't give a yeah.
And it's like you said, like, they can bust their stack
calling,
and go have plenty of fun other things to do.
And I guess you feel more comfortable check raising because apple bottom jeans in a lot of situations like this with the flush draw with the set on the flop would be probably raising in the back seat for value and protection, thinking it can get called by enough hands. So they're pretty capped in some regard to maybe worse draws or weak jack X or something like that probably would have a hard time getting it in. But yeah, I see it now. I can see it. I kind of like it. I think I like it. Yeah, I do like it.
I think in the moment too, I felt like apple bottom jeans most likely was on a jack. So I'm thinking about getting like a couple of ranges to fold. Calling is totally fine. The math is totally there for calling, but it's just one of those ones where it's like, it's good to look outside the box on like, okay, this is the go-to play. Is there a better play? Or at least what are the merits of making the other play? And do I like them? And even if you don't end up making the other play, you're just like, whatever, the math says call. It's nice to entertain the other idea to evolve that thought process and then, go with whichever one you feel is best.
What did you think about his range in this situation with him using these particular sizings in a multi-way pot like this? What do you like from your experience? What kind of range would a guy like? Where would you place his range at in a situation like this?
I don't think it's super nutted. I think he would be betting bigger to both extract value and do a little bit of protection. I thought we were. I even thought, honestly, with the overpairs, he's probably a bit bigger. I thought we were looking at a lot of better ace high that's giving itself a cheap price with a gut shot.
Ooh.
Mostly. Maybe he's doing a little kind of block bet with nines too or something, but I didn't think we're seeing. I thought Apple Bottom Jeans probably had the best hand. He has the second best hand. We have the worst hand, but we have the best equity.
Okay.
Based on the sizings in the action, but there's pure assumptions, obviously.
Of course.
For sure.
Right. Yeah, it just feels like he would be going much bigger with a hand like kings or something on a board like this to get back. I just can't see guys doing this, from my experience, wouldn't have kings. I feel like he might have a queen jack, jack 10 suited, like one of the best hands he has.
Yeah.
Then he might have like tens or something. He wants to bet small here and then check back in position sometimes as well. Nines, like you said, I could see that as well. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Ace, king, ace, queen, king, queen, suited. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. I think I do like 225 here because we can just get it in once he puts it in anyway. Like we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's our backup plan. Our plan A is that he folds if we check raise. The backup plan is, all right, we got the pot odds and send him spinning too if we hit. He'll never forget that. And then we get the future tilt equity if he rebuys. That you did him dirty, right? Can't forget about that. If you're going to play with the same people over and over again in the future, it pays to go for spots where even the implied odds aren't quite there in some situations, just so they peg you as like that freaking guy who did that. I mean, in a home game, like that's going to pay off week after week after week. You don't have to do it a lot, but you do it once. People remember.
Yeah, I never think about that kind of stuff. I like that. I never thought about that. Just to have that image or be that tilt factor. This guy's always going to play back at you and make mistakes versus you, kind of out of spite,
I think Helmuth talked about it in Play Poker Like the Pros. I'm not sure if it was that one or the autobiography. I think it's Play Poker Like the Pros. He says in the beginning of sessions, at least back in the day, he used to like to bluff really, really aggressively because either the bluff gets through or he builds up a stack, or he gets caught sometime early on and gets pegged as a bluffer, and then he just stops bluffing. But until they caught him, why not just free roll the bluffs and just play really hard and get either the free money or the free advertising, and then just play lockdown from there.
Reminds me of
That's
the
really good.
Book of Tells from Cara, the old Book of Tells.
Yeah.
Where he used to go, like, I'd go up to the cash game table and eat $100 bill. Just because I thought I was crazy. And then start playing poker. It's like, what the hell? Pretty funny.
All right, 225 it is. Let's do it.
Okay.
And here we find ourselves in a very similar situation to the one we found ourselves on the flop in terms of the hands that we can have and in terms of the hands that our opponent has. The difference being now the three of clubs has improved our equity going into the river. Obviously a spade would be better, but it's one of the best cards we could hit that doesn't actually make us the nut flush. And more importantly, we have another really small bet size here that just does not scream strength, especially with the three of hearts coming off here and a potential one-liner coming on the river. Gotta expect that if our opponent was holding an overpair, he's going to go with a larger sizing than this to protect against ace-high drawing to that wheel. So to me, it really felt like he had overcards on the flop, now had a gut shot to go with it with the wheel draw, and he was trying to give himself a cheap price to see the river, but he wanted to maintain the lead in the hand and potentially set himself up to go for a three-barrel bluff. Now, if we call, that's what we've given him the opportunity to do. And if we call and he does have ace high, he has us beat, right? So what can we do to get the best hand to fold and allow us to win the pot from the best hand? Well, raising is going to be the play. So how much? Yes, by the way, we're not folding, but you already knew that. Our hand is way too strong for that. We could check call getting the correct pot odds to see the river, which is fine, but it's probably not the maximal EV line. Check raising here gives us the opportunity to fold out ace high hands. And it also gives us the opportunity to fold out even big pairs because, let's be honest, most players don't like stacking off over 200 big blinds at 1-3 no limit with one pair. Weaker players do, regulars generally do not. They're a bit more protective. So if we check raise here, we can potentially fold out a ton of his range save everything except for maybe jacks. Jacks ain't folding. Now, between the two sizings, all in guarantees we see the river. It gives the illusion that we're putting the maximum pressure on him, but by going to 225 instead of all in, not only do we get to put a lot of pressure on him on the turn, we then have another shell we can empty on the river for another $400 to put him to a second decision. So by going for a smaller raise size to 225, we're getting very good fold equity on the turn, similar to how much we would get if we just went all in. Plus, we have another shell on the river. So instead of him having one opportunity to fold, he now has two opportunities to fold, which kind of doubles our chances of the bluff working in some ways. So we make the 225 raise. Apple Bottom Jeans thinks about it for a while before folding. So I think he might have had the A from the Apple and the J from the Jeans. And it comes back to Reg City, the battler, who pretty quickly tosses it in the muck. He just didn't have a strong hand. And we're representing an extremely strong hand. And in spots like this, where you can have sets and you're going to be check raising your sets, the best hand to be balancing your set check raises with is your combo draws. So we check raised to 225, and Mysterion said, you had a set. And I was just like, no, man, I had ace high. He's like, you didn't have ace high. And I don't usually show bluffs, but in this one I did. And then he just started going off on Reg City, the battler, and giving him a hard time. It was hilarious because Mysterion was a super nit anyway, so he loves seeing bluffs. And that paid off a little bit later. So sometimes it's worth it to show, but usually we go with no. Anyway, it's been Evan Jarvis for PokerCoaching.com. Really hope you enjoyed the quiz and you learned a lot about how to kind of balance your ranges and how to pay attention to your opponent's bet sizes to look for exploitative lines and opportunities to win without the best hand. Hope you did well, and I look forward to seeing you.
That was good stuff, man.
That was very good.
I love how you talk about how Mysterion started bagging on Rex Sandy. The shit talking started. That's so funny.
Yeah, I feel like like every poker hand, it's a story. It's a little like sitcom there, and when you can actually include all the details about that, it's kind of easier to put yourself in that situation where you're like, right, I know what that's like, and you need the characters. Poker's all about the cast of characters and the people you're playing against. So I try my best with my quizzes to include as much of that detail as possible so people can actually kind of put themselves in the situation and see what's going on and maybe infer slightly more accurate decisions because they know a little bit more than very limited moniker.
The question in the chat was if it was a king, queen, or ace that was a non-spade on the turn, or would you wouldn't be raising at that point, right? You would just be calling because that's a lot of the range, I imagine.
Correct. We're probably check calling there.
Cool.
We probably can't fold out as much with the check raise, and also, it's also it is a good barrel card if he's got something else, but he'll probably fire off there too. I think I just check call in that spot with the lack of equity and the chance that they've improved a bit more.
Yeah, you didn't pick up the extra outs with it either. Cool.
I think that was very
I really
good.
enjoyed this one.
Yeah, because it's very easy in that spot to just easily, we know we're getting a good price. You're not going to be making a mistake by just flicking in at 85 and getting to realize that equity because you were getting a good price. But at the same time, I love how you were just creative in that spot and you took the aggressive line. You took the extra time to read into your opponent's bet size and you didn't just flick in a call because it's profitable. You recognized that his range, the strongest parts of his range would be going big in that spot, and you didn't just autopilot call. So I really like that check raise. And I think a lot of us, like in those spots where we're playing a lot of tables, we see a spot like this, I'm getting 4 or 5 to 1, we just call, and we're not even taking into consideration what his range should be doing in this spot or what he would be likely doing with the value portion of his range, the strongest value portion. And I think that's very good. Right.
And I think I have low stakes and mid stakes PTSD where I'm like, this fool's never folding top pair, and so that's not necessarily the case. We're super deep.
Well, also, if he's never folding top pair, you can do a decent job of building up the pot too with your draw, and then you just don't fire off the last 400 on the river. Right. If you think he's a guy who's never folding top pair, you can kind of take control of the hand, to set yourself up to get full value if you hit the flush, or very good value if you hit the wheel. Because if you check call and the flush comes in, it's going check on the river. Or if you lead out, you might fold, right? So you are also giving yourself a chance to control the amount you do get paid off if he's someone who never folds, and you give yourself a chance to control the sizing if you think he's someone who is capable of folding.
It's great.
But I'll say in the moment too, at first I'm like, oh, great price, good pot odds, I call. I'm like, wait a minute. What if and then part of me was like, yeah, but then you're risking more money. Like, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, I know I don't have to, but I think it's the better play. So it took a little bit of willpower to take the more aggressive action because, it's a little bit more risk. It's a little bit more, it just takes a bit more stress to put yourself in that spot. But when you're willing to push yourself in those situations and try it, you might learn something and you might improve. And next time you're in the spot, that's now in your repertoire, as opposed to, it looks like it's a good play, but I'm just going to call, right? So many people are like, I could do that, but they never do. And so they don't actually really learn the ability to follow through on that. And I think it's good to do. And that's one of the benefits of playing, smaller games. If normally you play 1-2, maybe play a 50 cent, $1 game, or if you're playing online and you normally play 50 cent one, play 10 cent, 25 cent, where the money isn't as meaningful, and you can experiment with these plays and see how well aggression really can work when put into play.
I got one last question for you in the chat here, Evan. It says, if the board paired on the turn, are we folding the 85 bet with someone behind us?
No, we're still check calling.
Just get out of prize.
We're still. We could check call, and if apple bottom jeans check shoves, maybe we fold then. But no one has given enough of a sign that they have a set on the flop for us to just check fold to a single bet at that point.
And then on the river, I imagine you would be betting and bet folding if you hit your flush.
If we hit our flush, assuming what, we check call the turn.
Yeah, you'd be check calling, right? So you wouldn't have the aggression. Never mind, that's a bad question.
Yeah, because we're not going to lead.
You're not going to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in live, if I did check call here, I probably would lead the river because they always check back, but I wouldn't really expect to get called very often.
Sure.
You kind of lead out because you have to, but then they still fold, and you're like, well, that sucked.
All right. Should have checked raise the turn. Cool.
Cool. Yo, guys, I have to run because we went a bit over, but I got to pick up some water and prep the slides for tonight. But I really appreciate you guys having me on, and if you'd be open to it, I'd love to come on for another one in the future sometime because I really enjoyed this, and I love getting to talk between the three of us and gaining your guys' perspective too. It's really sweet.
This was great, man. Always and anytime and every time, whenever you can. Thanks for joining us, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, very nice to have you on the stream today, man. We really appreciate your perspective. Really good. Nice meeting you. And guys, he's going to be back this evening on pokercoaching.com running a webinar from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure to give him that follow, check him out. We'll give him another plug here for his Twitter, so you can follow him there as well and stay in touch. We really appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. And you're more than welcome to come back, man.
Cool, thanks. And yeah, it'll probably go 7 to 9 because they usually go long. That's how it is. And hope you guys enjoy the rest of the stream here. And I look forward to catching you guys on the Twitch streets or in the poker coaching quizzes or in the chat streets or wherever on the Skype. And
we'll find you.
We'll connect again soon.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure, man.
For guys in the chat, I'll put Evan's link to his website back in my chat so you can see it. I'll also put it in the YouTube replay so you can go check him out for one-on-one coaching and any other content that he has. And thanks again.
Cool. Peace and love, guys.
All right.
See you, buddy.
All right. So sixes, we have giveaways to do today, right? Is that a thing?
We have some giveaways to do. So what we're going to do today, boys, I don't know if we really put it out there, but we really appreciate you guys and girls.
And Ginger
I apologize. And Ginger out there, my girl. We're going to be giving away some 1-month memberships, premium side. So we got 3 to give away today. I don't think Evan ran the stream, so he wasn't able to do it.
3? I thought we had more than that.
I thought we had 3 1-month memberships to give away.
I thought we had 6, so I'm going to scroll through the chat and double check.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 3 1 months. But if it's 6, that's even nastier, dude.
I thought it was 1 6-month or 6 1 months. Hang on, man.
No, I thought it was 3 1 months.
3 1 months. You're right.
It's 3 1-month memberships. So we're going to be giving out some 1-month memberships for the premium side here on pokercoaching.com. You'll have access to everything for a month, man. I think you'll love it. So yeah, let's do. I think we both should maybe stream and just take turns running it for both of our communities.
Agreed.
If you agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the best way for us to do this, because I was just thinking about it on the fly. I asked Justin, he didn't reply. Hang on, my Skynet computer in my room is talking to me. Michael, it says system rebooted. Anyways, I think we should do that, and I think the best way is probably to use the PC link, sign up for free, and then we will get you converted to a premium. Does that sound like the best way to do it? Sixes?
Yeah. So you'll use the link. You got to have a free account. So everybody here, you need a free account.
So to get the free
and
account,
then we're
exclamation point PC in my chat or Sixes chat.
Yep. And then once you have the free account, we're going to do some rolls today. We're going to roll and pick today. But then you'll send us your username, whisper myself or Toe, and then we'll get you set up with the free one. How's that sound, Tom?
Sounds perfect.
Awesome.
I'm going to
All right.
Stream Elements right now to get the giveaway started.
Same here.
Give us
Explanation
seconds
point,
to
poker
get
coaching.
that. Poker coaching.
There it is.
Membership giveaway. All right, so it's going to be
Sub's
0 tickets.
going to have a little luck.
Subs will have
Sub
a little
luck.
And so it's 0 tickets, 100 max, guys. Exclamation point tickets, space, max in either chat to get, or in both chats if you want to get double your odds here. I am going to start mine right now and let it run for a minute.
Yep, exclamation point PC in the chat. You can do it in both chats. You can come to my stream, you can get in Toes. Get in there, boys. We really appreciate you guys. It's been crazy. We've had Matt Affleck on the show last week, Evan Jarvis this week. Evan wants to come back. Matt wants to come back in the future as well.
I have some other
We're gonna have
streamers
more
who have
guests.
reached out to me too that want to talk to us about joining us on the stream too. So things are blowing up.
Yeah, I think we're going to be doing this more often. We're going to have a lot of guests, so we all get a little bit better. We get a lot of great poker minds in here, give you, their perspective on how they see the game, the optics of how they see the game. So I think it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited as hell.
I always said that's it's good for us. We get extra reps in, which is good. We study a lot, but even any extra reps are good reps. We get to interact with you with no delay, which is something I never get to do. I don't
Right.
think Sixes ever gets to do that either. So that's super fun, and it's fun talking to you guys and getting better and, getting our guests. Sixes and I are very fortunate to know a lot of people in the community. So, we got to get Jonathan on one of these.
That would be
We
fun.
could do
Jonathan,
that. There's no way.
Yeah.
We could definitely get that done somehow.
Yeah, because he has a little coffee, he does. I don't know if he does them on the weekends, but yeah, we should talk to him about getting Jonathan on here. I know I don't want to spoil her, but, we talked about some other streamers getting on here.
Yeah, I had
so
some
we
ones that we haven't talked about yet reach out to me. So good things. So many good things to come, guys. I got 15 people in my giveaway so far.
Yep, but we got 12. We'll give you guys another 2 minutes to get in this first one. So we'll take turns spinning. You can spin one. I can spin one. And then the last one we'll just toss up.
We'll Rochambeau for the last one.
Let's do it. I like it.
Cool. Make sure you use exclamation point PC and sign up for your free link because that's going to get you started if you are not already a premium member. If we get Alex to do a 4-hour session, we'd get 3 lessons in. Alex would be a tough one because we don't know him personally. We only know people that know him. That might be a tough one. But we could definitely try. We could ask Matt, right? Matt, I'm sure talks to him.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, they're both from the Seattle area. They said they grew up a couple blocks away from each other, which is kind of cool.
They were old study partners in 10 years ago. It's amazing.
Pre-Black Friday days. Yeah, I heard some of
It's
those
you and me,
stories. Yeah, I
10
know.
years from now.
Let's do it. Playing 10Ks and 25Ks, hopefully, right?
Only soft 25.
Only the soft 25Ks. Donner, we are rolling for a free premium membership to pokercoaching.com. We're going to be giving away 3. So give you guys, we'll do it in 1 minute. We'll give away that first one at 1:55 p.m. Eastern. Exclamation point PC in the chat. To enter, you must have a free account set up. And if you don't have one yet, still enter the giveaway and then sign up for the free account, either on my stream or Toes. You get access to a bunch of stuff with that free account anyway, so I would say it's well worth your time to check it out. Yeah. I already had done that last quiz, so I didn't want to come in and I know it all. A bunch of people do that shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's good because you still get the commentary and the bonus commentary, right?
Yeah, you get to hear the perspective as in how you guys, the chat sees it, how I see it, how everyone sees it is very important. It's awesome. Hey, Slacker with the prime time for 10 months. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate you, man.
All right, cool. I'm going to draw my first winner.
Do it.
All right.
He's drawing his first one, and after he's done, I'll do
First
mine.
winner for the premium membership is Rad Dad Poker. He gets a free month. He's already a member.
Hey, let's go. That's cool. He ran, so we're going to do mine. Here we go. Drenning, make sure to use exclamation point PC, not tickets. I don't have tickets in my chat. All right. I'm going to go ahead and roll my giveaway. Yeah, there you go. Member of pokercoaching.com. Here it is. You can get a free account here. You don't have to have it set up yet. If you win, you can then set it up, but I would suggest doing it either way. Exclamation point PC in the chat to sign up for that free account there. I'm going to go ahead and roll mine, and the winner is, as he asked, the run good. This dude, like, account for what, and then he wins. Duster P, I see you, dude. That's sick as hell.
Cool. And I got a plan for the third one.
All right, cool.
I got a random number generator. If it goes 1 to 5, it's me. If it goes 6 to 10, it's you.
All right, I like it.
Cool. If it's a 7, it's you.
Let's go. All right, boys. I'll give it one more minute for anybody new to the chat. Give you guys a chance to enter. We're gonna roll for one more. Make sure if you win, and either if you guys have won, make sure to whisper me your account name on Poker Coaching. Whatever your account name and email address is. Don't email me your password or anything like that. Just your account name and email address on the site, and I'll make sure we get you guys set up with that premium membership. No problem, buddy. Thanks for hanging out today.
Again, says Jellyfish. This is my fucking life. Have you been watching the stream? Rad Dad, same. Hit me up with your account name and your email address. I'll get it over to GodsBigToe and we'll get you hooked up.
Yep. We got a few more people over here entering, coming from your stream, trying to get in there. We'll give them another minute or so. Let them get in there. How you been, Toe? You been streaming every night? How was last night's session?
Last night was super fun. Got a nice, a little profitable day. Matt Affleck was hanging out in the chat all day. It was funny because he was like dead last. I think we're like 10 out of the money, and then I started taking people out and cashed for him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. It was super fun.
Yeah, I've taken a couple days off, man. I feel good, just trying to get a lot of sleep, a lot of rest, spending time with the family, even though we're locked in the house together for the past while, but it's still nice to spend time.
I've been like, oh shit, all I got to do is eat, sleep, and play poker because everything else is on hold. I'm living that sixes life. Like, I'm playing like crazy. It's good to be you.
All right. It's good to be tough.
Except for the up to the 4 in the morning part. That part, I'm too old for that shit.
Right. All right, here we go. I am going to roll for the last one, boys. Rest up for the High Five series. I should play a bunch of the High Five series tomorrow. We'll see. It's going to be crazy nuts. Yeah, good luck, everybody who's playing all the majors and stuff tomorrow. It's going to be a big day, boys. All right, I'm rolling it. Who's going to do it? Machinist Joe! Oh. Look at you. My dude, I love to see it. You love to see it. Congratulations, buddy. Run better.
Very nice, very nice. Well,
yeah, he's been cool. Joe, congrats, man. He's been active in these things, showing up every week, throwing up input. I know he's mostly in your chat, but I love to see this man win. I know he works hard on his game. Is he a member of Team Toe?
He is not, but he is a legend of the Toe Army.
Yeah, he's a legend of the Toe Army. That's what it is. All right, cool. All right, well, that's it, boys. Remember, if you did, go ahead and create an account for free. All the free quizzes, staking opportunities, a ton of content, coaches, homework opportunities. So, check those out. We're going to be back next week, potentially with another host. We might just try to make that a normal thing, but we'll let you guys know on that. And, make sure to hit that follow button. Give Toe some love, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Anything you want to add, Toe?
Nah, you got it. It's good. Make sure you click the link. Make sure you click the follows. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel, exclamation point YouTube in my chat if you want the link to get the replay. If you have any questions, let us know. We will get back to you. And that's it.
Let's give it to Rodney. All right, let's do it.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.
See you guys. Thank you guys for the support. Peace out.
we're going to get the turn in river to see what happens. So one of the benefits of position. If you said 2,000 as well, I think that's great.
Thin.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all good, man. Jam work. And once he's called the 4-bet, I can't see anything other than to just bet it big and get ready to keep the rest of your chips right at the line so you can drop him in if he puts the check raise in. Thin.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all good, man. Jam work. And once he's called the 4-bet,